right, viewers, let's start with the top focus. Large crowds of Maduro supporters have taken to the streets of Caracas calling for his release and rejecting what has been described as the Yankee-imposed government. Around 2,000 demonstrators, including armed militia members, were seen marching with Venezuelan flags, banners and images of Nicolas Maduro and Hugo Chavez. However, questions have also been raised over how Maduro was captured with claims of betrayal from within his security and close advisory circle. Maduro is currently being held in New York and is due to appear in court on narcoterrorism charges. Let's listen in to what some of the supporters have to say.
No queremos que nos impongan un gobierno yanqui. Nosotros somos libres y soberanos. Nosotros somos un pueblo con garantías en la Constitución bolivariana. Somos un pueblo libre y soberano. Donald Trump no se va a quedar con nuestro petróleo. Rubio no nos va a gobernar. Nosotros tenemos un presidente y una vicepresidenta que asumen por ahora, pero nuestro presidente es Nicolás Maduro. No queremos a Rubio aquí, no queremos a María Corina y no queremos al mundo. Cuando entre María Corina, vamos por ella. Cuando entre el mundo, vamos por ellos. Nosotros tenemos presidente y vicepresidenta. Respeten a los pueblos soberanos. Ya basta de tanta burla, de tanta violencia.
No entendí cómo entraron esos aviones por su casa, ¿sí? Como si nada. Yo vi cuando pasaron los aviones y bombardeaban. Yo vivo aquí en La Pastora y venían del Ávila y pasaban tranquilitos. Y no entendí cómo no salió nadie por ahí con una bazooka esa antiaérea a darle, porque ni siquiera una chancletica le lanzaban. Eso no lo puedo entender después de tanto entrenamiento, de tanto que se habló de la seguridad, de tanto que se habló del apoyo internacional de nuestros aliados. Todavía estoy tratando de digerir eso, de entender qué fue lo que pasó aquí y cómo es posible que se haya llevado a nuestro presidente de esa manera sin que ellos hayan tenido una sola baja.
Aquí está la gran fuerza motorizada de Caracas, salió a las calles de Caracas a decirle al mundo que levante la voz por el secuestro de nuestro presidente y lo queremos de vuelta, carajo. ¡Que viva la patria! ¡Que viva!
All right, joining me now in this discussion is Professor Veselin Popovsky. He's the professor and vice dean at Jindal Global Law School and joins us from Brussels. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining me in this discussion. Now, you do know how reactions are coming in, not just from Venezuela, but also the US. The reactions that within the country are also divided as far as Maduro's ouster is concerned, because like you have been saying, he was an unpopular leader. He was a leader that was in power without the election results really saying so, and that's also the reason that Trump has cited. Where do you see the internal politics of Venezuela going from here? And do you think the US will allow for the interim president to administer Venezuela, or will it ultimately have to negotiate and accept Trump's terms when he says that he wants to run the country?
Oh, this is an excellent question, Kirti, and we still don't know the answers, but you correctly pointed the divided opinions. Obviously, there are supporters of Maduro, no doubt, people who listened to his propaganda for the last 14 years will say what they said now. But also many Venezuelans are very happy, cheerful. They want their country to return to normal after 27 years of Chavista ruining the country. The economy is ruined. It was one of the richest South American countries before Hugo Chavez came to power in the late 90s. It was really a brilliant place to visit. Everybody went there, had good fun. It was a tourist destination. Everybody was prosperous and educated before Maduro and Chavez took power. A lot of people migrated out of Venezuela exactly because of the economic collapse. So it's a good story of an economic collapse of the best country of the South America. So, and everybody who knows that will be very cheerful and happy, but still concerned what happened next. Exactly, the question you ask are very important to address. And I don't think what Donald Trump say might happen. And often what Donald Trump says doesn't happen. He's just talking. It will be a better future for Venezuela, I hope. There will be elections like there are. Venezuela has very strong history of elections before Chavez. So it is one of those South American countries that people love freedom, they love democracy and human rights. And I don't see, maybe not immediately, but over some time, that happening. Again, many problems, division, narco cartels, poverty. People need to go back, those who migrated. But long term, I'm very optimistic for Venezuela. It will be, by the way, let's remember Grenada, another American intervention back in 1983. The day of that intervention today is the National Day of Grenada. Thanksgiving, they call it in Grenada. The American intervened, they deposed the dictator in 1983, and today Grenada celebrates that as National Day. Kosovo, another American intervention. Today in Pristina, in the capital of Kosovo, there are monuments of every American president, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Barack Obama. They have monuments in the center of Kosovo today. Let's see in a couple of years how Venezuela will look like.
All right, sure. Let's also now talk about the other countries that possibly are under threat from Donald Trump. He's issued a statement that he wants Greenland for security of the US. Then he's also said Cuba can fall at any time. Iran, he has also issued a warning for protesting Iran. What do you foresee? Is he now going to, because everybody else in the world is clearly threatened after what he's done in Venezuela. He'd been saying that he will do it and he has achieved what he wanted to do. So the threat perception to all these other smaller nations, the less mightier nations, is real. What should they be doing? Should they be scrambling already to protect their sovereignty?
Well, you correctly said these are warnings. These are words. Donald Trump says a lot, but none of those happen. So yes, he wants to see, obviously Colombia and Cuba could be the next targets, theoretically. I'm not saying it will happen, but if we kind of theorize next target, it could be Colombia, it could be Cuba. These are regimes, left-wing, that are anti-American, that also produce a lot of traffic a lot of narcotics. But I don't think that will happen. There will be an attempt to minimize the threat to United States coming from the drug trafficking from Colombia and from Mexico and from Cuba and other places. Iran, again, it's very logistically difficult to remove the Iranian regime. So for that matter, it will not happen like that. And at some point, the Ayatollah, who is 85, will probably give the power. So these are verbal support for the protesters in Iran, very important. There could be some very limited attempts to target mostly nuclear facilities in Iran, like it happened last year, mostly by Israeli with some American support. But I don't expect American interventionism going too dangerous to say that some dramatic, you know, people talk about the Third World War started. Well, it started and finished in 45 minutes with the arrest of Maduro, with no single civilian casualty. Well, obviously the bodyguards were killed around Maduro, among those some Cubans, 32, and some others. But that's it. It happened for 45 minutes. Suspected criminal is arrested and will face charges in New York very soon. And all these crowds that in Caracas demand America not to impose it, there won't be a Yankee government, by the way, and they very soon will hear from their leader what charges will be put by the prosecutors and the judges in New York. So, yeah, Maduro was a dictator. He was illegally in power since 24 after he lost the elections. But he brainwashed his people in a usual, you know, left-wing propaganda way to think that he is a great... By the way, why he didn't fight like Salvador Allende fight? He took the gun against Pinochet in La Moneda in 1973, and he died as a hero. Maduro simply surrendered to be arrested. Is that the Venezuelan hero? Is that the Venezuelan Bolivar? Absolutely not. He is a coward, and he will face charges in New York very soon.
Yes, indeed. All right. Do stay on with me, Professor, as we go ahead.